Hi, welcome back for new Journal Monday. This is Journal Monday number 50. I have prepped these pages with gesso and I'm now applying a layer of absorbent ground, which is a product by Golden, and it does exactly what it says it does. It makes any surface absorbent. Now, as I want to work with Dylusions inks, which are water-based ink, I need a surface that will work with me in absorbing them, which wouldn't be possible with the gesso unless I would be cooking them in the gesso. I'm spraying water first. Now my Dylusions, I'm working with two colors, adding some more water to blend everything together. Now, if you don't like my blatherings, just like last week, you can shut me down, put on some music. For those who are having their morning coffee, good morning. I hope your coffee is as good as it was last week. Drying my inks a bit. My absorbent ground is still a bit wet, which you will see now because it's picking up the texture of my tissue paper. Now that it's dry, I'm going back in with PanPastels, and I'm playing with a whole variety of blue shades. I'm trying to keep the colors of the Dylusions, so I'm trying to respect those colors that are already there. Just look at that difference. Yet I want to accentuate the color a bit. I wasn't sure I would be able to get this journal on Monday done because I have two sick kiddos at home, and not being quite healthy myself, it was quite a sport. That's why it took me about 3 hours to do this spread when the video is only taking 20 minutes. Going back in with a darker color to add a bit of an edge all around the spread. And then blending it to soften it a bit. Now I went in a darker color that I meant to, so I'm erasing it a bit to soften it even more. That's the fun trick with PanPastel. If you don't like what you did, just take an eraser and take it back off. Voila! Going back in with Dylusions, but this time with a black one. Now I'm not doing this with acrylic paint this time because I want it to be softer. And as you see, when you roll the excess ink away, it's a softer look than when you do this with diluted acrylic paint. Stamping a bit of text. This is a Stampedic stamp. And I'm doing this with Archival ink because I know I will be going back in with wet medium. And I don't want my ink to move around, so Archival ink is just perfect to do so. I'm taking a bit of the ink off of the stamp so that it looks less neat when stamping. This is what I call the fun part. Getting ready to play with molding paste. Here it is. This is a light version. It's a Pébéo product, and I like it because it's really fast drying. You could do the same with gesso. The difference would be that you would have a harder time to get your inks in the gesso afterwards when you would like to colorize your circles, and you will have less texture. Of course, your gesso would be flatter than this paste, which is really made to add texture. Doing the same on the other side, this time with a bigger circle. When you work with modeling paste, don't forget to clean your tools right away afterwards, because if the modeling paste dries on your palette knife, for example, you won't be able to take it back off again. And an even bigger circle. And once that was done, I left it to dry overnight. Back in the morning, going back in with some water to move my Dylusions ink around a bit more because it's looking too neat, too clean. And then going back in with the PanPastel. I want to create a color gradient on my circles, so I'm starting with a light color and then going more and more intense, working my way down. As I didn't like what was going on here, I went back in with my eraser because it was too dark already and I still had 3 circles to go. So I took a bit away and now I'm going back in with some brighter colors again before going back into the darker colors. As you can see, I'm really working those colors. I keep going back in and blending, and again back with the lighter one, back in with the darker one, and then blending again. If you do this with one sponge, you will have to clean your sponge in between to avoid having nothing but the darker color all around. As I'm working with several sponges, I can keep going without cleaning them all the time. Using my eraser to go around the circles and make them back look like circles, which they don't actually do when you look up close. And then I'm going to stamp some images only on the circles. This is another Stampotique stamp, one of my favorites by Roc Nicholson. And again, I'm doing this with Archival ink because I know I will be going back in with something else on top again. Making some kind of a mask with 2 post-its because I don't want to stamp on the rest of the paper. Now this is again one of those pages where I don't know what I will be doing. I know what I'm doing at the moment. I know what my next step will probably be, but I don't see anything past that, which is quite funny because you have to go with those ideas that pop into your head, and it's another way of journaling than the page I made last week, but it is as much fun. Now this is Bindex by Pébéo, which I've also been using last week. It is one of my favorite toys. It's an acrylic product that dries completely clear but quite glossy. I could be doing this with glossy accents if I had like 4 hours to leave it to dry, which I don't, and this will dry way faster. And I can apply it with a brush, which makes it a lot easier too. Especially if I don't take a brush that's too large, like I did with the first one. I can dry this with my heat gun, but I have to be very careful not to cook the Bindex, because I don't want any bubbles on it. And then I'm going in with a white pen to accentuate the little flowers that I've been stamping. I'm just drawing a little heart in each one of them. These are water-soluble color pencils, so I'm just adding a bit of color on the flowers again. First with a blue one, and then I want to add some orange accents just here and there, not too much. I don't want the colors to blend either, so I'm keeping them separate. Now, as these are water soluble, it will be more fun if I go in with some water. So using a water brush, I'm blending the pencil. Going around the circles with a charcoal pencil. And when you do this and you have been working with molding paste, you have to be careful not to carve into your molding paste, which could be another technique, but this was not what I was looking for, so I was doing this quite carefully. And then blending it with a blender pen, which actually is a paper pen. And same thing, when you go around your molding paste with these, you have to be careful not to go in the molding paste, but just go around it. Using a piece of washi tape. Now that my washi tapes are all neatly organized, because I've been making some kits. You can see them on my blog if you want to, but now my washi tapes are really visible. So I think I will be using them more because I can take the one I want very easily now. Now, washi tape wasn't made to stick to itself, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to use it. So I'm going over with a bit of Bindex to make sure it will stay where I want it to stay. So you can use it as glue. Wordings I have been printing with my computer. And just getting them ready to go on the paper and prepping my date stamp already so that everything is ready when I want to glue them down. Now this time to put some color on the edges once I'm done distressing them. I'm just taking my soft tools, which you use to apply PanPastel. Now this is the sponge I use to apply darker colors, and as you can see there's enough color on there just to go around the edges, just like I would do with the stress inks. A photo I've been printing on my computer, and same thing, just with the soft tool. I'm not taking any more color, there's enough color on there to get some color on the edges of my papers. Gluing it down. I added some more Bindex on the washi tape that I added, and now I'm going back in with my charcoal pencil to blend everything that I've been gluing down in on the page. So I'm adding a little edge, a darker edge to everything, and blending it with my blender pen again. I added some journaling, first in black, then going over it again with a white pen, because I felt the whole thing to be quite dark. And well, maybe even if I am in a darker mood today, I wanted to lighten everything up, and really everything, even the wording here. Then I'm going back in with a fluid acrylic ink, which is fun because I want to add white splatters, and I don't want my splatters to pick up any of the Dylusions color and turn blue. And that's why this acrylic is very good to do that. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I'm going straight back to bed with my two sick little boys now. See you back next week or on my blog. See you there. Bye.